Don't do drugs.
LSD.
Is that name brand? Fuck your couch with your lame ass having doubts. Try your new one, fuck that ouch. Chain hit my chest while I work the crowd. Is that name brand? Fuck your worth. Where's your brain ass? Say no more. Drip space drops, rain God on lords. Enemy blood off a Hanzo sword. Is that name brand? Life got beef. Porch light on these dark ass streets. Flash that piece like two titties. Pop up on you in a
What's good, everybody? It's me, Trent B-Face Small. I'm back again with the Built Different podcast. I got a very special guest today. I'd like to introduce LSD.
What's up?
What's up, bro? How you doing today?
Good.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, bro. I'm really excited to finally get you in here and shit. I know we've been talking about it for a while, so it's dope.
Definitely.
It's dope to really finally fucking get down to it.
Hell yeah.
I've been kind of off the grid and shit lately, you know what I mean, after the show and just doing all that. I had to step back and take a break for a little bit and kind of fucking reset my batteries.
Totally get it.
So what you been up to, bro?
Oh, changing work. I've been changing work. I have a day job, so I'm not, you know.
Life.
Yeah, it's not all it's cracked up to be. I'm just kidding, but yeah, so I switched jobs recently, and so I've been kind of dealing with that transition. So I've been kind of low key myself. I've been writing and things like that, and I still do that, but it's just not as easy living your life. The more and more you take on, I feel like.
Right. Yeah. No, for sure. You just kind of get caught up in everything. It's hard to actually sit down and focus on the smaller things for a minute. When you finally get the time, you're like, man, I just want to rest.
For eternity.
But now I've started off like I always do with my first question, like no pressure, you know what I mean? Just kind of like topic starters and shit. But when did you start making music? Like, around what age and stuff did you start?
Well, I like this because it's like I started writing way earlier than I really started to fit. You know what I mean?
Right.
If I was going to answer the question directly, like making music in my teens,
Right.
probably somewhere between whenever we could finally afford to get back then a mixer that had like a CD with it.
Yeah.
So that way you could put it right on the CD and then go and listen to it, you know, right off the gate.
Yeah.
So we got one of those mixers, and we got a microphone and like a keyboard to key our own beats because we thought we were gonna do everything.
Right.
And we made this like bullshit CD called Demolition, like, you know, like a demo CD because they're called demos, not EPs.
Oh yeah.
And it had like I think 6 songs on it. Just horrible. It was bad. It was because, you know, none of us knew what we were doing. We really just jumped into it like, yo, we're rapping because we like it.
Yeah, the first ones have never.
And
never what you think they
so
are.
Yeah,
first.
probably between 16 and 19, somewhere around in there.
Hell yeah. So what age did you start like writing and shit?
I would say I was probably 13. I was in junior high. I remember when I really started. Maybe at the end of 6th grade, I might have wrote some silly shit like I jump over a bunny. It was Sunday, you know what I mean, on a Sunday. But anymore, or not anymore. But yeah, I would say 13 years old, probably junior high. I was probably entering 7th grade.
Right. Hell yeah. What inspired that? Was it like the music you were listening to and just kind of stuff like that, or just kind of
angst? I think I was, you know what I mean, like an outlet,
feelings,
you know what I mean, in some fashion or another. I think everybody kind of finds like either some kind of hobby or something they use to decompress. Yeah. Some people use several, you know what I mean. And I think that was something, and I just really, something about rap music, like to this day, like I always say, like, yeah, I like all kinds of music, because whatever's on the radio I'll listen to, but I always gravitate to hip-hop, and I always want to listen to what the new thing is, or who's doing what, you know what I mean, and I don't know, I love it. It's my favorite genre, so I fuck with it.
Right, that's kind of always what got me too, was I could never sing very good either. So
yes.
It was like,
yeah.
I mean, but
it's
I
like, oh, they got something for me.
Like I would listen to old school like Big L and shit like that, and like Lord Finesse, and hearing them like the way they roll their words real fast, and just be pop 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 pop, and it's like, holy shit.
Yeah.
Like,
it's impressive.
I wouldn't be able to do that. You know what I mean? It's like, so I don't know. I just started kind of fucking around with it, but hell yeah, that's what's up. Whenever you initially started, did you have any like actual goals in mind for it, or was it more or less just enjoying the time, not really thinking about any of that
At
shit?
first, it was definitely just enjoying it, you know. But whenever we put that first piece of shit together, we thought, we were like, oh man. I actually, in a different CD, talk about it where I'm like, oh, we're just gonna wait for that call for 50 or Eminem, you know, Scope Records.
It's all gonna pop.
They're gonna call us after this. We handed out like 10 of them, you know. But I probably started taking it more seriously. Other people that, you know how it is, people are trying it out, they don't fuck with it anymore, they quit, whatever the case may be.
Shit happens, you know. I think, especially through the growing process, people start doing it and they're like, then they get to it and then they're like, no, I don't want to do it.
I think adulting starts happening too, for some people.
Yeah.
Or the just mischief or whatever the case may be, and it kind of starts pushing that stuff off to the side. Some people hold on to it and they keep doing it, and other people don't.
It's like, yeah, that for sure became like my outlet, my way just to get out of life, you know what I mean? I rode bikes and shit, and I fucked my knee up, so then it was all like, I couldn't really do that too much no more, and I was always getting in trouble and shit. It was like, I turned to the music, and I listened to a lot of X-Rated and shit at the time.
Oh,
okay. I wrote him a letter while he was still in prison.
Oh,
and he actually fucking wrote me back.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, and that like really kind of got me to clicking with it and shit. And so it was pretty crazy. It was
That's
like,
awesome.
Yeah,
that's fucking awesome.
It started off real early though, but I never actually like felt like I was ever going to actually try to do anything with it. It was just like my heart, little thug. You know what I mean? Fucking crazy shit.
I think there is a while, you know, while you're doing it, where that pipe dream comes in.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you start going, man,
yeah,
that last stuff we did was pretty good, right? You know, and you start really like, oh, we might make it.
Right.
You know what
like,
I mean?
oh man, this one.
So you really start wanting to get in, you know what I mean?
Right.
And absorb yourself into it. And I definitely did that for a time. And as I got older, life starts happening, and there were like gaps, started being gaps in my activity.
Yeah, that's kind of how it's been for me.
But it's never gone away.
Right. It's always there. That passion and that fire is always there, you know what I mean?
Because I've said I was going to put it down before, and it's like, you know, because you do it, and it's like, once you start doing it and putting it out,
right?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it's like, then the money starts getting involved, you know, because now it wasn't you were just rapping in a basement with your friends. It's like you're investing, so it's like everything costs something. And it's very expensive.
It's overwhelming, like
it
when
does.
you're trying to build an album, you're
I mean, it's like you're trying to pay your bills, but fuck, I just bought a beat. And then your wife's like, what the fuck are you buying beats?
Yeah, that's pretty much kind of like where I'm at right now. You know? Like, I'm trying to build this, but it's like I'm on a one-income household, you know what I mean? So it's like the whole process of it, it's not what you think. Like, I've been doing it a long time, so I already knew that, but my style that I work in is not very good either, because I can't just like find a beat and buy it and be like, okay, I'm going to use this beat. And I'm like, I'll find that beat and I'll buy it, and then I'll make a song to it, and I'm like, yeah, and I'll go download one off YouTube and just use that one. Then I got this other one I paid for just sitting there, and it's like,
I'll be honest. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you.
No, you're good. But so then I just wait till, you know, I get through it all, and I'm like, I'll go back through it and pay for them.
Sure.
And it's super expensive.
I mean, I can't lie, I bought beats and paid good money for them. Right. I don't even want to admit how much. And never used them for anything. Damn. Sir. And then I went back and listened to them, and I was like, oh hell no! What was I thinking?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know how that happens, but I guess you're just in a mood or something. But I did that a couple times.
Hell yeah. So really going back to my questions, do you have like a team that helps you? For anybody that doesn't know, you got like a team, or is it kind of like just you pushing everything and doing everything business and all that stuff?
There are several people around, and everyone kind of does their thing. Like, you know, I've had a guy that's been making beats for Hunter House, is what we've always called it, and he's made a lot of my beats for a lot of my stuff. Like, my first two projects, he made like almost, I'd say 90% of the beats for both of them. And so without that that helped me tremendously because that really
Right.
kind of got me on my feet at first. You know what I mean? Because it was like to help with these expenses and things like that because you're still paying for studio time.
Yeah.
And so, and then he's just a really dope beat maker. And then the first time we recorded, I was paying for those sessions, but he actually made that connection for me to do that as well.
Oh yeah.
You know, at the time. So
Right.
at first it was just me and him.
Yeah.
And then as time went on, I started meeting other people. You know, like Jeremy was kind of always in the background,
Yeah.
Big Church, and
Yeah.
shout out to Big Church. And yeah, so he's always in the background
Right.
himself, kind of like
Yeah.
always being there as like a voice in one way or another.
Yeah.
And then when I met Manny, we did this, and he recorded all that for Reset Button, and he really became a big part of that too. And then other people stepped in and helped out here and there with that, and then which led us to that EP, and like Wayside Palmistry helped out with that too, which is awesome.
He's a dope cat.
They're fucking crazy good.
I seen him live, little tiny like show type.
They kill it.
Dude,
It's so underrated.
He killed it though. It was dope.
I love it. I love watching them perform live. I've seen them a few times at PG and a couple other places, but they always kill it. It's amazing.
Yeah.
I can't say enough about them. Like,
Yeah.
shit, they're really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, there's people in the background. I'd say Manny is a really big part. He goes by Kill One Shot as a rapper. But he does a lot of the videography.
Yeah, his videos are dope.
Records everything that I do.
A lot of your videos are dope as fuck.
Yeah, I mean, he records all that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He does all that, and it's dope. He's great. I love working with him. We always work together just because we became friends actually on accident too, because we have a lot of things in our personal lives in common.
Yeah.
So we just bonded and
Right.
So yeah, there's definitely, and then Todd, of course, cinematic. He's always kind of popped in and helped out.
Right. Hell yeah.
Photography and cinematography, and just honestly just being honest and suggesting what you should do. He's always definitely a guy you want to ask if you want a seriously honest answer.
Hell yeah. That's what's up. Fucking another question, man. Like, sorry, I don't mean a big jump, but Reset Button, like I was listening to that just a little bit ago, and I've listened to it on Spotify a few times. I got you on my Spotify.
Right, I appreciate it.
I'll put the shuffle on, and then I'll just be driving, so I'll just drive and listen to it. But a lot of it, like I noticed, like the name really says a lot about like just some of what you hear in it, and just kind of like the vibe of it. But having you here and being able to ask you, and for anybody that might not know, like what's your kind of like take on it, and where were you coming from with the project and building it, and like a lot of the vibes on it and everything?
For Reset Button?
Yeah.
Well, that was definitely because there was a huge gap between the one before it, which was, even though we did good with recording it and things like that and the beats, I just felt like it didn't age well and stuff. Some of it's still on Spotify,
Right.
but I cut a lot of stuff out that I felt like just didn't age well and things like that. There's probably more I'd cut if I could go back.
Right.
But that's just one of those things with music sometimes. But anyway, as far as Reset Button, because of that gap, I felt like I could try again.
Right.
You know what I mean? And this time I could put a different spin on it, put more effort into it, put more investment into it, and just more consideration and time. And so approaching it was like looking at it from my life from a perspective of things that I've done, and like how I can change that back and still move forward and be a functioning adult.
Right.
You know what I mean? And not just be, because I was, I wasn't doing a lot of the right things.
Right.
And I was definitely on a path that could really lead to a place where you can never come back from.
Yeah.
So, to be able to go in a different way and kind of use music as a vehicle or a metaphor, which actually really helped and like almost therapeutic.
Oh yeah.
Because at the time when I was writing it, I was going through a bunch of stuff, so I had like gotten sober and I'd quit everything, and I was like, so that's where my mind was when I wrote that. It wasn't like, you know what I mean, I was just kind of focused and thinking about what do I want to talk about in my past that I would hit the reset button on and try again if I could, you know what I mean? If I could go back to some of the things that I was experiencing, would I you know what I mean, erase it and try it again, you know, and that was kind of really the overall everything for it.
Right, hell yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Listening to it, you can definitely tell it's like it gets real deep, and it's like there's a lot of self-reflection in it, you know, and just kind of looking at the things and looking at yourself and like your direction, just kind of where you're at, where you're going, you know, where you've been.
Sure.
I really like. I think it's very awesomely put together, like in order wise, even too. You know what I mean? It all goes good together. The vibes of it, you know, it's a great project. So I had to ask about it. You know.
Oh hell yeah! I appreciate that. No one's ever asked that question before.
Right.
I mean, Manny helped a lot with the song placement, and so did Church.
Right.
So, because you know, I would consult and tell them, and you know, they would have kind of course, Manny would have the inside because he's recording, but you know, I would also let Church know about songs and link those to him and let him hear them and give me his opinion. Because he's usually pretty honest too.
Right.
And if you're gonna ask him, that's nice to have people like that. They're gonna just sit back and go.
But no, for sure, having that honest opinion there is always like, it's a big thing. It's like, you know, my brothers and stuff that help me out, and that's, you know, that's like key for me. And having people that aren't just going to tell you what you want to hear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yes, man, I think. You know,
Yeah.
people say it now. But I agree, yeah. I mean, because it doesn't do anything but stroke your ego.
Right.
And then you're going to keep running at that pace.
Yeah.
Because it's easy.
Yeah, and you stick to, you know, this one thing. You don't try to expand yourself or open yourself up. You just kind of like stay in this
No, you stay, you
bubble of
definitely
what
stay.
you're comfortable
I wouldn't
with,
even say
you
a
know?
lane. You're right about that, like a bubble.
Yeah, you
It's
just
just a little,
yeah, and that's been my problem. I'm trying to like
expand
break
a
out
little
of my shell, you know, but it's like I break out and then there's a cage around me and I'm like, fuck.
It's hard because it's all, everything, excuse me, everything is evolved.
Right.
You know what I mean? So much that sometimes it's unrecognizable. Because, oh dang it, excuse me, dude. But it's to the point now where it seems like music, you know, if you're going to put them in circles like country music, rap music, you know, rock music, synth music, all this, it's like, you know, these rings all are starting to encompass each other closer and closer together.
Yeah, and they
So
all
it's
got
just
like all these little branches and vines.
Yes, there's something for everything.
It's like,
I mean, I've even heard that there's like rap for people that want to hear about cryptocurrency. Like, that's how specific you can get. You know, now you can be like, I'm a cryptocurrency man.
yeah, my God.
You know what I mean? Mostly Bitcoin.
The doggy coin or whatever.
Send us money.
Doggy coin is life. I don't know anything about this stuff.
I don't get into it
I've
too
thought
much.
about it, but I'm like, I'm done with numbers. I'm like, I didn't even graduate, you know?
I tried to read
I
about
barely
it.
made it past middle school.
I tried to read about it, but it was almost like the article was like, yeah, it's
Right.
and I didn't get it. Yeah, I think it's.
I don't trust it anymore. I'm like, I don't know. I work too hard. I'm a cheap ass motherfucker.
Right.
I'm like, I don't know how much it costs. I'm like, no, I'm good.
14.6 bits. I don't know how they measure it or anything.
Like, it'd be $5. I'm like, no, it's too much. It's too much.
I mean, if we gotta go over to it, I guess that's gonna be the way of the world. But I don't know.
I'm like, man, fuck that. So, going back to my questions and shit, like, what inspires you to create? Is there any like specific type of situations or things that inspire you to create, or is it just kind of like fucking life and you know you just kind of feel it, just kind of comes to you?
Man, inspiration is a funny thing because it doesn't just come from like the music you listen to. That's not how that works.
Man, that's
Usually it's like way opposite.
right.
And
Yeah.
that's what I like about it more because I feel like it's more authentic. You know what I mean? Like it's like I don't know. Like you said, you'll be going through life and something like you might be in a car and something happens. You're like, man, oh my god, I bet everybody feels like this sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, and not even maybe even not like that. Like, oh, I'm thinking about everyone else, but just like, oh man, like, oh, wow, like I'm relating to this right now. I know it's yourself, but you know what I mean. When you're looking retrospectively, it's just kind of like, Oh yeah, man, and it's kind of like it's almost like I guess an epiphany.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I love those moments.
Yeah, it's like,
And I'm like, that's where you're like, yeah, that's gonna be something
Yeah.
special.
Yeah,
At least to me, you know what I mean?
Cool, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, it's like the way that I've been in the process of putting a new album together and everything, and it's like I've just sat back and listened to it, and it's like I forget about what I'm trying to do with it because it's like all that I've put into it, it's like it's real personal. You know, anybody that knows my music, I'm like, I'm honest, hard-working man. You know,
Right.
I'm the working man's rapper, pretty much. You know, what I mean, that's my best way to describe it, and it's like
That's good. That's a good.
So I sit back and I listen to it, and I'm like, God damn, I feel this way, and I'm like, this is me.
Right. Yeah,
Like,
it's kind of like observing yourself.
Right, and at
you
the
know.
same time, like I've grown and I've expanded myself and experimented with different shit I've never tried before, and it's like it's actually kind of good, and it's like, damn, I don't doubt this, you know. It's
Right.
like a lot of my other stuff, I'm like, oh no, whatever, but it's like I listen to it and like it'll give me chills. I'm like, I fucking said that perfect.
It's like the chains are off.
Yeah,
like
it's
because you're so judgmental.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody is like their worst critic.
Yeah, so
You know what I mean? Because I think a lot you would just attack yourself.
right,
you know?
yeah, and that can hinder your inspiration too,
Definitely.
because you're trying to feel that motivation to write, but it's like you'll be hard on yourself or whatever the case may be. And
But you don't get to drive it. That's what I think's interesting.
Yeah,
you just get to
exactly.
ride it. So it comes around and you're just like, ooh, get in. And then you
Yeah.
just have to go
Yeah.
and keep it. And I feel like that's why you don't ever want like those distractions or those things like, it's like, oh, those things that are, stopping it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, because like I said, you don't get to drive it.
Yeah,
so
it's
like
just-
if you like go, oh, then it's gone.
Yeah,
You know?
you're riding it 1 minute and then you fucking wake up the next day and you're like, fuck.
What was the point?
Yeah, it's
I'll do
gone
that
now.
sometimes when I wrote maybe some bars and I was thinking about the context at the time. And then I
Yeah.
might wake up without writing, because sometimes I'll have to be like, remember about that thing.
Yeah.
And you need to like bring context to
Oh,
this to make it
I
make
gotta
sense.
write it down like immediately whenever I think something or I forget it. I'm like, I'll be in the middle of work. I'm like,
Dude, I just look at it and I'm like, what?
oh yeah.
No, I don't even know. That doesn't even.
Yeah.
And then I just start backspacing and I'm like looking around, like people see me.
It's like highlight all this.
One face, dude. Like, goodbye forever.
Yeah, that's been me lately. Like last few weeks.
I'll have to say, without saying too much, that lately it has been more on and writing it out than off.
So that leads to one of my next questions. I try not to give too
I wasn't
many.
trying to
Oh no, you
step
good.
on you.
No, you good, bro. I try not to have too many questions because I want it to be more conversation based.
Sure.
Just kind of bullshit and talking. Still have the questions, but that actually does lead me to one of my other questions. You guys, are you working on anything new? You working on building any new projects?
Yeah, I got a
Mixtapes,
couple
shit?
things.
A
Couple things I don't want to talk about.
okay.
I came with some stuff, and I didn't know if you were gonna ask me the question, but you did. You've been pretty thorough, like way more thorough than I expected, because you put in the reset button, you listened to it. That was an interesting question. That was really cool.
Yeah. No, I try to for each person I have on, and like especially you, I really like your music stuff.
I
So I'm always
appreciate
listening to it, and it's like I get excited being able to have a person in here and being able to talk to him and ask him stuff about it. So it's like
Get the full perspective.
Yeah, and then
Like
that
the
way.
reason behind, because sometimes I feel even when people are using metaphors, you can understand it, but you
Yeah.
don't have their perspective.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like you're only getting some of their view.
Yeah, exactly.
So I think some things get misinterpreted in
Right.
music because of that.
Yeah, exactly, and that's also for like so everybody else knows. I think once you really see what was like in the artist's mind and their heart whenever they put the project together, they built the song or a video, it's like it helps you appreciate it and like it that much more because you're like, yo, I a motherfucker was going through some shit, or you know, he worked his ass off on it, whatever the case may be, and it's like
you feel like you almost know that person before you've met them.
It helps you relate to it more because it's not like, you know, just some fucking famous motherfucker with a fucking big stack of money and a bunch of diamonds and fucking bullshit and, you know, all that other shit. It's actually like you're seeing that's like, hey, that's an actual person, you know, like.
Right, it's not just some symbol.
Putting their heart and soul, their fucking blood, sweat, and time, and fucking tears and everything else into it. So it's like, I try to make it a point so that way everybody gets that, because a lot of people don't really care about music or the meaning to it. It's like,
yeah, I feel like
it's there. You know, you should appreciate it.
It's not like that's not what. I feel like it's really just not what. I really like to say this because that now that we're here about this. But I really feel like hip-hop, and I think I've said this before, but it's really in its celebration stage. You know what I mean? Because hip-hop had a really hard time at first.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Shit.
Especially when they started putting the words to the beats. And the MCs started emerging, like beyond the, you know, the breakdancing and the DJing, which was like the beginning.
Right.
You know, but about that. Oh, about the celebration phase. Yeah, so anyway, the struggle.
Right.
You know, and you see that all the way up through the 90s into the up into the early 2000s even.
Yeah.
Because you see a renaissance from, you know, the 90s. You had gangster rap, and then it was very East Coast, West Coast, and all that stuff was going on. But then you kind of see a resurgence of the gangster rap again in the early 2000s and all that kind of stuff. Oh yeah, all that stuff. You know,
you got like the crunk music, you got like Lil Jon, you know what I mean, all that stuff.
And they kind of started taking over at this point because this is where we started seeing people were getting T-Pain or Lil Jon over on pop stuff, and then you started seeing more pop, Lil Wayne more. You know, you just started seeing that bridge crossing more often, and then next thing you know, you've got Drake.
Yeah.
You know, you've got this hybrid that like comes out of nowhere. You know what I mean? And it's just like this evolution. But what I think is interesting at this point in time, when someone like that came, like I feel like the 2000s like lyrical hip hop had like reached its like prime. People were murdering things. I mean, there was a whole time period all the way up to that point where it was just getting more and more and more sophisticated. And then you, like you said, you started kind of see it go back to the crunk style and go back to, I don't want to say simpler, but it, as far as like less words, I don't think that necessarily means it's easy
more
or simple.
Right, you know, stuff like that.
But that's like how it started. You know what I mean? So it's kind of encircled, and as it's done this, is it's expanded. And what's interesting about it to me is that like it encompassed everything and became the like most listened to form of music. You know, I don't know if it's on the planet, but in America, you know, that's what we listen to the most. And it's dominated. Now you're starting to see where pop stars are getting rappers to jump on their stuff. You know, so I feel like we're in this huge celebration stage because of all that. It's like they've done all this to win, they've won, and then now here we are, where it's just like motherfuckers are throwing confetti and popping bottles, and that's all that's going on. Don't you talk about shit. We don't want to hear about shit. We're winning right now. And I feel like that's just where the sound is. It may, and it'll probably change. Like you'll probably see a renaissance of something else.
Right, and see what I thought was crazy is like, especially when I started, which is, you know, early 2000s or so, like I don't know, like 2000, not really early 2000s, but like 2009ish, 2010, I started freestyling. You know, worked my way up, but even in like, you know, in 2014 and 2015 or so, I would tell people, you know, that rap, and people find out about it, and they're like, what? And, you know, not really everybody was rappers and stuff. It wasn't really super popular on Facebook.
Sure.
You know, there wasn't really all of like the groups and shit. Facebook wasn't so watered down like it is now, so it's like everybody wasn't a rapper yet. And then it's like,
everyone's a rapper.
I went through some shit and I took a break, deleted Facebook and everything. I come back and like everybody's an artist, and it's like, holy shit, everybody's a rapper now.
Your neighbor is.
Yeah, it's like, god damn.
Hey, Lil T, what's up?
Yeah, it's like, holy shit.
I'm about to drop my mixtape.
Yeah. Right? It's like, fuck.
Taking up all the internet.
But it's like, at the same time, it's really cool, even though, you know, there's some people out there that probably shouldn't be rapping or whatever. But hey, if it makes them happy, go ahead, you know what I mean? Do it. Let's enjoy it.
You know what? There's something for everybody.
Yeah, man.
You know?
It's like, hey,
there really is.
Right.
I mean, don't knock it. I feel like that's how I've gotten anymore. Whatever. Dude, I used to be a Scrooge about hip hop.
Right. Oh, me too.
Yeah, when Drake first came out, I know I keep going back to it, and he's like old now, but like, I was like, oh, this fucking idiot.
Oh,
and then now I'm like, yo, this dude is killing everything he does. This is fucking insane.
Yeah.
And I think it's because the evolution of hip hop like changes your ear to get used to that sound. And as you get more used to hearing it, it's like, I'm more familiar with it and comfortable with it, and now I kind of like it. And actually, that was fucking dope, you know, until where it's that at that point.
Yeah.
And I feel like that about new music. I listen to a lot of this stuff that people are probably like, dude, that's what. So I like hate even telling people the stuff I listen to right now. But I'm like, dang, I see why those people were on that cipher that we didn't understand why they were there, because they were like, what the fuck are you doing? And it's like, it's just a different way, you know what I mean? It's different, we don't understand it, you know what I mean? And it's like hard to accept it, because it's like, dude, this isn't what I thought it was as it was being built, you know what I mean? But it always changes, and you're starting to see that, and it's like, it's always going to change, you know what I mean? So what you grow up as it in, the guys that are doing this now, they're going to grow up and they're going to be like, the fuck are these young kids doing? You know what I mean? And they're like, that's not rap, you know what I mean? You're supposed to sing about murder in auto-tune. You know what I mean? They're going to be so pissed whenever the next thing happens. People aren't even going to be saying words, it's just going to be like a machine where you blow it. Who knows? Who knows?
Noises and shit.
Yeah.
That Yoko Ono shit.
Oh, wow.
Shit's crazy, man.
That's funny.
So hell yes, so you starting a new project?
Yeah, it's called I'm Fine. I took a picture one day, it was in like the winter, I think. We had just bought a house, me and my wife moved out of the city into Chandler. And it's nice out there.
Oh yeah.
And so I took a picture out there while the sun was setting, and it's really fucking dope. So, and it's called I'm Fine. It's gonna be pretty personal, more along the lines probably of Reset in a way, but it's very different. Actually, Angelo, produced a lot of the tracks for this record.
Oh yeah.
And it just, this dude.
Right.
If you ever got to shop for his beats,
I actually just bought one from him, like,
they're so good.
They're
So good, dude. He says, and what was crazy was like, I don't know if he was, maybe he wasn't, maybe he's in a vibe, who knows, I don't know, I never asked him, but it was like they were kind of like stringing along, you know what I mean? Like, wow, these are like all kind of like in this same scope of what I'm kind of like wanting to do with this, you know what I mean? And so it'll probably have like, I'm just going to say 12 for a bass line, but it could have up to 16. It just depends on what I decide to cut or not at the end. I'm not sure yet. But we're already recording. And I mean, I've already written 14 songs. So it's pretty much done.
Right.
I just haven't said anything about it because I wanted it to be closer as it is now.
Right.
So we're in the recording phase. We'll probably, start recording again maybe next weekend, Manny. Well, I don't know when this will pop out, but either way, you know what I mean. But
better be recording.
it's gonna be good. Well, we get caught up in talking about video games and shit, so it's like no, but so I have that going on.
Hell yeah.
And like I said, and then Church is gonna make Big Church is gonna make an appearance, and he's going to be doing some more things like in the videos like he does and everything. He's always in the background helping out and doing his thing and like really networking. The dude is really good at that. But anyway, so I don't know when that's going to come out. I would like it to come out this year,
Right.
But if it doesn't
shit
come
takes
out,
time. You know
right,
what I mean?
then it is what it is.
Yeah, it's all a building process. Well, that's what's up. That's dope. I look forward to hearing it, hearing a single or something. You know, you ever want to shoot me?
Yeah, I might,
me a little something.
I might shoot you a little something. I might shoot you a little something. Yes.
I won't spoil it or nothing.
Yes.
Sorry. I think my kids might be trying to break into the laundry room there. Sorry, everybody.
I want to say one more thing. We're doing this movie. It's called The Money Tree. Steve Max's White is directing it, and we're shooting it now. And I don't know what the timeline is for it to be done, but I want to plug it so people are more aware about it, because his circle and my circle are actually fairly different. I didn't meet him until recently at my audition. So anyway, Money Tree. Directed by Steve Max's White. I think, Cameron Jones is shooting it. And it's gonna be good.
Oh yeah, that's what's up, bro. That's what's up. Again, I appreciate you coming on, man. Fucking, if y'all ain't heard it, you be sure to go stream Reset Button on Spotify. Follow my boy LSD. That motherfucker is dope.
I appreciate it.
Dope ass project, bro. I don't know if I heard this one or not.
That right there is got a double cover. That's what you'll see if you stream it on the back. But the front was only for people. Because I was doing a promotion with the shirts, and you know what I mean. So I matched the CD face with it.
Yeah.
But that's the only way you'll get those. Actually.
I've heard this one. I've definitely heard this one. I love Tax Message.
Yeah.
My favorite one.
Tax. There's videos for a couple things on there.
So y'all be sure to go stream it. If you ain't done it yet, go pick up a News for You. Find my beautiful face in there.
Dude, he's got a whole article.
A whole page of me. I was surprised. I was like, they really did it.
Congratulations for that shit, dude. This shit is dope.
Thanks, bro. I was pretty surprised, man. I didn't think it was gonna go the way it was. Again, sorry for the kids screaming. But
that's life.
Yeah, dad life. But yeah, no, man, it was awesome. I really didn't expect it. I was just trying to get some free promotion for the show or something, and then ended up getting an article. I was like,
That's nice. Yeah. It's nice to see the highlight in the community, especially for hip hop, because it's really struggled to get anywhere.
Yeah, none of the clubs will let us in or anything.
There's a few places that will. But we won't talk about that here because I don't want to call nobody out. But there are places that still do. Things are changing.
Yeah, I'm trying to find them. So, anybody knows, let me know. I'd like to put on another show, but I like the last place, but it just ain't working out for right now.
Right.
Just can't do that. But so hell yes, and thanks again for coming out and performing in the showcase.
Oh, that was a lot of fun, dude.
Yeah. So if y'all ever get to come see him perform live, or myself,
I'll jump off your stage.
Y'all be sure to come and do it, because this dude is an amazing performer. I'm trying to get good at it myself. I'll be there one day. I can almost make it a whole set without messing up.
You did good.
But I was like, I got no safety blanket,
The secret is just pretending like you didn't mess up.
Yeah, exactly. And that's exactly what I do. I'm like,
let's catch it again. Anyways,
Right. But no, hell yeah, thanks for coming on, bro.
No problem.
Everybody be sure to go down, hit subscribe. Go down in the links, follow him on Spotify, hit subscribe on his YouTube channel, check out his videos, hit him up for merch, check out these projects. I mean, shit, there's a whole lot more content on the way from LSD and myself as well as the Built Different channel. So until next time, have a good one, y'all. I'm out.
Don't do drugs. LSD. Is that name brand? Fuck your couch with your lame ass having doubts. Buy a new one, fuck that ouch. Chain hit my chest while I work the crowd. Is that name brand? Fuck your worth. Where's your brain ass? Say no more. Drip space drops, rain guard on lords. Enemy blood off a Hanzo sword. Is that name brand? Life got beef. Porch light on these dark ass streets. Flash that piece like 2 tits.